What's the best way to handle and deliver video in our composable content? This is a common question we get from Contentful customers. In this video, I'm going to cover 3 different ways that you can work with video and deliver it to your customers. And the good news is they can all be used together. There's 3 fundamental ways to work with video in Contentful. The first is to upload your video to the Contentful Assets store. This is stored like any other file. It's kind of like working with images. You can insert it right into your content. The second approach is to leverage an existing video platform like YouTube or Wistia, Vimeo. It's very easy to attach either a URL or an embed code to then play it back for your users. This has some pros and cons, and we'll cover those. The third method is the most advanced and the most powerful, and that's to leverage a dedicated streaming service. If you go to our app marketplace, you look in the video category, you're going to see some vendors there that have incredible power and are completely focused on video, giving you amazing power and capabilities, also saving a lot of time for your editors. This first approach, where you're uploading the video file directly to Contentful, you are going to deliver the exact file that you upload. We have a dedicated video CDN. It's very powerful and robust, but you need to know what you're doing. You need to know the correct codec. You need to know the right bit rate. These are characteristics of online video delivery that are a little different if you're used to just editing video. We give you that control and power, but it also means it's your responsibility. So if you need some other capabilities, like you want to deliver a smaller video to mobile, or you have a different format that you need for like a set-top box, a Roku, an Apple TV, something like that, you're going to want to make those additional file formats. And that means you have to generate those for each file that you upload, essentially. So that's a consideration at any kind of scale. You're doing a lot of these, or you have lots and lots of customers, or you need that automatic workflow capability done, then you want to look at some of these other options. For the second approach, it's simply leveraging one of these other video services like YouTube or Wistia or Vimeo or some others out there, right? So in Contentful's case, you're simply storing the URL that points to that video, or you're actually creating like a long text field and you're dropping in the embed code, right? That's how I used to do it when I was a Contentful customer years back. You're used to working with an embed code if you're building web pages, and this has its upsides and downsides, right? It's a chunk of code that you then have to keep track of. You might want to modify that if you're trying to insert some analytics code or something like that, like a Google Analytics string, or you might want to configure the player in a different way. So if you're managing the embed code directly that way and dropping it into a field, while that does work, it has some limitations. And over time, you're going to find, as I did, that's kind of a struggle. If you're going to take this approach and you want to leverage your existing, like say your YouTube account, at least check out the URL method, right? So if you configure your Contentful content type as you see here, then you'll just drop in an URL and you get a little preview inside the Contentful web app, which is very handy. But then you're going to need to render that on the front end essentially and unfurl that on the front end. It basically lets you leverage your existing video content that's already out there. You might have your own marketing campaign, or if you want to control the appearance of the playback, like for example, if you want to do a chromeless view where there's no controls and you just want it to play in the background, or you want it to composite with other elements, or you want to theme it or brand it or give some additional control, like you're going to get whatever the service gives you, right? You're going to get that YouTube player or that Wistia player. They're very flexible, but you may want to even more control. So if that's the case, then you're going to want to use the first approach that I described, or you're going to want to use the third, and that's to leverage a dedicated streaming service. If you go to contentful.com/marketplace and look in the video category, you're going to see a set of technology vendors that all have really phenomenal dedicated capabilities when dealing with video. They let you upload video to their service. They do transcoding and reformatting, resizing, cropping. They have all kinds of neat capabilities. transforming it to different bit rates, transcoding, things like that. So these are super powerful. They have dedicated video CDNs, and often they give you the most complete control over your video delivery experience, the actual playback. Sometimes they have other really interesting capabilities like auto captioning and stuff like that. So these are if you have the most advanced needs, these are the vendors you want to look into plugging into Contentful. If video is key to your business's strategy, right? Or if it's a key component of your user experience, or if you have other needs beyond web, right? That like a YouTube isn't going to help. Let's say you're going to set-top boxes. I look at some of our customers like Peloton, they're delivering streaming video directly to devices, to TVs, things like that, right? They're going to want a little more control over video. So if you want complete control over video, you want to look at these vendors. They're very robust. And also, if your business is built around video, or if it's really important to your business, you want to kind of manage both cost and risk, along these lines. So this lets you kind of isolate those in a controllable way, right? They have calculators to let you know exactly how much you're going to spend, gives you some options. Do you need 5 formats out of one video, or do you just need like 2? That lets you get that kind of control over it. One customer came to us and they said, hey, we have lots of little video clips, which are normally great for something like Contentful Assets. But then I asked them, how many video clips are we talking about? And they said, oh, tens of thousands. For something like that, you're going to want to automate that as much as you can. That would tilt the balance, in my view, towards going with option number 3, which is a dedicated vendor. Then your editors don't have to deal with outputting all these different formats, right? Then you can just work. You go, hey, I got a master file. I'm going to upload that through this service right inside Contentful. You can do that, and then just not worry about all the formatting settings and all the different codecs and things like that. So any kind of video at scale, you probably want to look at one of these vendors. If you work with video in Contentful, it's helpful for you to know all 3 of these approaches. You might want to use 1, 2, or even all 3, depending on what you're building and what your sort of other constraints are. Understand the pros and cons of each approach and the sort of cost benefit and what makes sense for your business. The good news is you get to choose. With Contentful, we give you really robust solutions for each of these approaches, depending on your needs. Don't forget, you can upload it via assets, you can reference an embed code like with YouTube, or you can choose a dedicated streaming service to deliver your video. We can't wait to see what stories you are going to create and deliver with Contentful.